Welcome back to Go Fuck Yourself. My vibration is
Just fine.
just fine.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. I'm Ken.
Debbie.
And oh no, that wasn't. I was gonna say Deborah, but that was a whole other story from before recording. So just before we get into our topic for today, I think it was interesting. And if you all didn't pick up on this, or if you don't know who the fuck we are, because you don't, you're not friends with us on Facebook and are, have gotten it through here. We both work within spirituality. I'm using that in air quotes, whatever that means. So we're not atheists, and we're not people looking in from the outside. We're talking about this stuff from being in the middle of this spiritual revolution, this spiritual awakening, this spiritual enlightenment, this exodus from Christianity, trying to find something new that seems to be happening within the US and Western society at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're not talking about it from this, I feel like I'm calling a baseball game or something, like we're up in the thing with our microphones watching the game happen below us. No, we're actually
we're in the we're on the field.
Yeah.
We're in the infield.
Yeah. And you are too. Like I personally think we should stop using the term spirituality because it separates it from the rest of our life, and it should be more of an integrated thing.
Yes, I agree.
So any follow-up thoughts from last time that after we were done, you're like, oh, I wanted to say that?
There's a bunch, but I figure it'll all come out eventually.
It'll all come out eventually. It all comes out in the wash. Okay, I feel the same. So, this is gonna get people going. Oh. I just know it is because people have latched onto this word, and it makes them special, and it makes them, I think for some people it also is like flashing your badge of credentials.
Yes. For
being emotionally intelligent, and they're really not. Yeah. So our term today is or what we're looking at is empathy or empaths.
Claiming or being you are an empath.
So before we get into the dictionary definitions, which we did look up because that's my favorite thing to do, what would you consider? Let me back that up. What do you think most people consider the definition of an empath to be? And then what is your definition of an
empath? I think most people consider it a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And use it to put themselves on a metaphorical pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
They use it as reading vibrations or energy. And they say they can pretty much tell everything about a person just from their energy.
Yep.
What I think it is it's not just energy. It's body cues, how people, hold themselves, their little twitches and movements.
Yep.
Stuff they say versus what they're pushing out into the room. We'll just say a room.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't even know the word empath a couple of years ago, really.
It got really big.
Somebody, I think her name's Till Swan. She's a famous whatever.
Yeah.
She said, well, I hate to burst your bubble, but what you claim as being an empath is actually a trauma response. And for me, that resonated because yes, it absolutely 100% is, because the way I grew up
Yeah.
and how I grew up, I had to be hyper aware
Mhm.
of subtle cues that was going to set that person off. So it's not only energy, it's body language, it's how they're holding themselves, it's little words that they're saying or not saying.
Yeah.
It's the whole vibe of the person. And you have to become so self-conditioned so that you can, I mean, it's just being hyper aware.
Yeah.
So you can avoid uh unwanted rage or whatever.
Or
It wasn't
abuse.
just rage. It's yeah, abuse.
Yeah.
And that can also not look like something attacking you. It can be full out abandonment and neglect. You know,
Yep.
there's also cues for that. It's not just
Yep.
somebody ignoring you. There's a whole bunch to it. So that's how, like, I heard the word empath or empathic, and then and that resonated for me. What I find in taking, you know, doing classes or courses or group settings, people will say, well, I'm empathic. But then those same people can't read the room and don't realize that they're disrupting the whole class. Everybody is highly annoyed, irritated, shooting them dagger glares, but they're empathic. Then read the room, Becky. And I use Becky as just because I think Karens get a bad rap from saying
Yep.
not all Karens are Karens,
Yep.
just like not all Debbies are Debbie Downers.
Not all Becky's are Becky's.
Right.
But
I just, instead of saying Karen, because
yeah.
that's the thing now,
Correct.
we just changed the name.
Yeah.
But anyway.
we're going to make sure that we cover every name.
Yes.
We will try. And every episode will have a different name.
Yes.
For the great. One more thing
Anyway,
for me to remember.
But that is so here is why I wanted to talk about this is because we was doing a drum circle and there was a sharing, and this girl was sitting there on her metaphorical pedestal about how she can read everybody and da 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 da, and started talking about her personal business and life. Again, not the time or the place, but she made it sound like it was her superpower. It was so great. Well, everybody, whether they are aware of it or not, is an empath.
Yeah, agreed. I agree. I think when I see people talk about being an empath, it brings up a few questions for me. Oh God. Okay, so we'll get into those questions in a minute. I'm gonna put questions down here on my little pad of paper so I don't forget. But so for me, an empath for me would be, before looking at the dictionary definition, was somebody who can pick up on the feelings and emotions of other people. Not using all of the physical cues that you just talked about. So I remember once when I had the metaphysical store, Blue Antler, um, a girl had been in the store. A man walked in the store and was walking. He was like kind of on the other side of the store, and she was talking to me at the front at the register, and she said she was bothered because she's like, he's tapping into me, and I'm like, well, do you mind if I look? You know, I would like, I try, I get consent. I try. Back then, I didn't really even necessarily know about as much consent as I do now, but um, when I kind of opened up my awareness, what I saw was that she had um, like these tentacles coming out of her back, and they went around the edge of the room, and they were tapping on him. And so I thought, well, what the hell is this that I'm seeing? Or it's being expressed this way. And so I ask, you know, why are you giving me this? Why am I seeing this? Like, help me understand. And um, it came up that I was like, oh, this is a trauma response. And so it kind of like all of the, I don't like the word download, but all of a sudden I understood.
Mhm.
And I asked her, I said, I'm sorry, can I ask you a personal question? She said, yeah. I said, are you a survivor of like childhood sexual, um, emotional, physical abuse? And she started to cry and she said, yeah. I said, let me explain to you what I'm seeing. And so, yes, I think that I agree with what you said. It can be something that it can be a skill that that either is increased through practice or increased through necessity. That is a survival skill about us watching for physical cues, watching for verbal cues, energetic cues then come into play in all of that. And so, um, for me, that was a good example of sometimes how I mean, we share a friend who his ability to break out of himself and kind of uh experience what other people are feeling is a trauma response.
Mhm.
In fact, when we would when we would be speaking, and because sometimes I paused to try and find the right word because it became a thing for us, where I couldn't communicate properly because he would only pick up on my frustration in trying to find the right words. Well, I'm not frustrated with you. I'm trying to find the right words, so I'm frustrated with myself.
Right.
But he would pick up on that, and
Mhm.
so um, other people, when they see me do that, pause to think about the right words. They're like, "I can handle it. Just give me. You can tell me straight. Like, just tell me how it is." I'm like, "Oh, that's not what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not trying to figure out how to sugarcoat it." So to me, those are two very different. One of them's picking up on me pausing, closing my eyes and trying to figure out what I want to say. And they're picking up on that as a, oh no, you can just give it to me straight. Don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
But he picked up on the feeling I was having of frustration. And I think that those two things really helped me separate. And I hadn't really put that together in those terms until we spoke just now, till we're speaking. But um I think that for me it is a good way to look at that, and I'll probably always use that now. Um, so the dictionary said we looked up empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. When we looked up it was Greek. The breakdown of the word meant in feeling. Um, then empathic and empathetic. That's where we went.
Yes.
Empathic was understanding feelings, understanding someone else's feeling without feeling them yourself, which I think, I'm going to pause that. I think that's one of the major differences too, because other people will say, oh, what I'm feeling from you. It's not like, oh, um, if I feel, sorry, the difference is going to be maybe a little bit hard for me to explain. So I'm not overcome by your feeling, but in my body, I know what that feeling is. Oh, I'm feeling sorrow. Or you are feeling sorrow because I sense what sorrow feels like, not because I'm consumed with sorrow,
Right.
your sorrow. So then empathetic was feeling what the other person feels. So more people are probably empathetic than empathic. And now here's where I think we grab the shovel and dig a little deeper.
Right.
Why why do people have to fucking throw that word around like it's a Boy Scout badge? And then also, what kind of how does that change the power dynamic in an interaction when someone does that?
I don't know how it changes. To me, it looks like an intention grab. Like, I'm going to make this statement and then all the attention's going to be on me. And that shit makes me want to puke.
It's
Like,
disgusting.
there is, I don't care what you're doing. If you're in orientation from work, if you are in any type of group setting, there is always one person, and it never fails, that has to have the attention. Somebody will ask a question, like you're in orientation for a job. Well, what would you consider the safety protocol to be? Somebody raises their hand and says, "Oh, well, guess what? My mom made me for dinner last," or whatever.
Yeah.
Totally off topic. So part of it is attention seeking.
Yeah.
I want the spotlight on me.
Yeah.
I want to be recognized as something special.
Yes. I
Which
think that's true.
Is understandable. Everybody wants that.
Yeah.
But again, time and place.
Yeah.
Time and place. And then they use it to not take responsibility for their own actions or reactions in whatever their daily life thing is.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, like I was just pulling because I'm an empath, so I can read that guy. And he was so freaking negative. And I was so mad the whole day. And I took all that anger that I was getting from him and I took it out on my husband when I got home. No, no. We cannot keep doing this.
Nope.
If you claim yourself to be that, you learn how to cleanse yourself, how to shield yourself, how to ground yourself, whatever it is you need to do, how to separate yourself from what you're getting, know what's yours, know what's not. You cannot use somebody else's shit to be an asshole or a dickhead in life. That does not give you the excuse. And that's the biggest thing I've seen. Instead of people taking responsibility, well, I was a bitch today because I couldn't deal with my emotions. They say, oh, well, I picked up energy on her and she's a mega bitch, so that's why I'm acting like a bitch. No, no, we're not doing that. We're not playing those games.
Nope.
That is not how it fucking works.
Yep.
You do not get to use other people to discredit or hold yourself accountable for your own shitty ass actions.
Yes, agreed. And so, if you're I'm going to use this term, so forgive me because I'm just being a dick, but if you're so enlightened as an empath that you're aware that you're picking up on other people's emotions, that enlightenment should also include you taking responsibility for, like you said, cleansing yourself, getting rid of that energy, and then knowing that it's happening so that you stop the cycle and don't take it out on other people.
Yes.
I told you before we started that I had gone to a friend's house the other night, and just because of how my energy shit works and how I work and whatever, I know there were people that were either high or rolling, and I think, hold on, we're pausing, maybe because of the. Why does somebody have to have an accident? Right.
There's
during
never sirens here.
there's
ever.
never sirens. Now there's sirens. It's probably hold on, I'm an empath. I can feel what happened. Sorry. So I was at a party, a movie night. I know there were a couple people who were stoned, there were a couple people who were rolling. And when I left, I was driving home and I'm like, all I had was root beer, by the way. And so I'm like, and Triscuits. Oh, I sound really old. So shit. Okay. One day I'll do Molly. Okay. So, but I was falling asleep driving home and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Stopped, got out, went to the Maverick, got a drink, whatever. Got back in my car and was like, and I had shaken it off. And I realized that I was still being affected by being around people who were on things. And it was fascinating because I talk about it all the time, but I had never really experienced, well, let me back that up. It's been years since I've experienced someone else's high just by being near them because of picking up on the energy. So that happens and that's okay. But and no matter how many years you've been doing it, no matter how high of a pedestal other people put you on, or how many times you've corrected it, we still need the reminder that the basics are what we need. And the basics include, uh, okay, what am I feeling? What's going on? How do I realign myself? How do I ground myself? How do I like filter this other stuff off of me? And that's even after it's happened. But if we can be proactive and be doing it before, and that's our baseline, we can stop ourselves from these other things. So that was the side tangent and probably one of my soapboxes. um, so, so I agree completely. We're going back now. Um, I think when I asked you, sirens, when I asked you about, um, by the way, folks, I don't edit because I ain't got time, and so whatever happens, happens. Um, the the power dynamic I think is interesting, um, because it's it I've never heard somebody say I'm an empath who can control it. So it's always like, oh, I'm sorry, I just need to let you know I'm an empath, so I'm just picking up on things. Okay, well, you can push that shit out. You don't have to pick up on it.
Yeah.
Just because that fucking root beer's in front of me does not mean I have to drink it.
Well, and like you was saying before too, people saying that you have to control your stuff. Like I can be feeling
Yep.
sorrow, grief, like I'm in a grief. I'm not showing it outwardly.
Mm-mm.
Somebody may pick on like, oh my gosh, you're going through grieving, and I can't really deal with that. So I'm an empath. Can you not do that around me?
Yep.
You know, like
Yeah.
they expect everybody to cater to them. That's no.
Yep.
That's not life. That's not the world. If you
Nope.
want that, then you go live on a hillside by yourself
Yep.
with nobody around forever.
Yes.
Like that's not everyday life. It's not going to happen.
No.
But to say, and also to use it as an excuse, well, I can't do X, Y, and Z
Yep.
because I just pick up on everybody's stuff and it
Yep.
makes me crazy.
Yep.
Well, you can if you want to.
Yep.
So let's just get down to brass tacks. You don't want to go to that function.
Yep.
So you're using this as an excuse.
Yes.
And if you don't know, like you're like, oh, well, I am empathic and I don't know how to control it.
Yep.
Start studying, reading. There's tons of literature, tons of podcasts, tons of stuff.
Yes.
I mean, in this day and age, it's rare that you can't find out how to do something. I'm sure there's a YouTube video about it. You know what I mean?
There is.
So you can't keep using this as an excuse.
Yep.
I'm an empath. Yep. You are an empath. We're all empaths. Yep. Everybody is.
We're all connected.
They're just not aware of it sometimes or whatever.
Well, so a couple things that I think were funny pop-up images in my head. I don't love, first of all, if someone were to say that to me, prior to me understanding my own self, and that people only get what I want them to get, what I'm allowing them to get, which could be a complete facade, because you don't need, people don't need to see me, and they don't need to have access to my emotions.
Yes.
And I think that when someone says it, before all, I understand all of that. It would make me feel like I needed to be guarded, like, oh, I'm leaking emotions, I'm leaking energy, oh, I'm affecting them. So I would then want to pull back and want to think that there was something wrong with me. So again, like you said, it shifts blame. And also, go ahead and live up on the side of the hill alone for a while, because I really actually fucking want you to realize that what you're feeling is yours and not anyone else's.
Yes.
So what excuse are you going to have when you're alone on a hillside feeling anxiety and overwhelm and sorrow, and you're like, it's not mine. Someone around
the weather.
The tree must be feeling sorrow. Oh my fucking God. No. You like it is the tree is not feeling sorrow. The tree is feeling annoyed, probably because of all of your emotions that you're
Yeah.
not willing to take responsibility for. So,
Yes.
if you're gonna go ahead and like put your little hi, I'm Julie the cruise director, I'm also an empath badge on in public, have your shit together.
Yeah.
Like you need to understand what is yours, what energy is yours, what you are feeling. You need to be able to identify what your emotions are. You don't always have to like dig into where they're coming from, but because there's not always time. But if something comes up for me, I'm like, oh, I'm most of the time it's hunger. Oh God, I'm hungry. Because if I'm hungry, then my emotions go wacky, wonky. So there are all these things that go into our emotions, that tie to our emotions, that affect our emotions. And I also think that part of this um, empath label could be that people so desperately want to connect and be understood, and they want to connect and understand other people, that um it's I'm feeling something, so it must be from other people, and I really want to have that connection, but it it's just it's just really sloppy. It's really I want to have, onion powder in my dinner tonight, so I mix it with a whole bunch of other things and I don't actually get the onion powder out of the taste at all because there's too many things going on in the whole thing. I'm just like focused on the one thing. Um and it I I love that little was it little Pixar movie where they talk about the emotions, because I think it, at least a lot when it came out and it's still out, whatever. It allows kids, probably even some adults, to see and at least begin to identify certain
Yes.
emotions. Um, because that's where it's like, number one, you need to know what the emotion is that's coming up. Number two, where is it coming from? Is it coming from you or someone else? Most of the time, it's fucking coming from you. And to go into the shielding part of it, like putting boundaries between you and other people, um, what I've noticed is that there are some people who have such a hard boundary because they don't want to be hurt, they don't want to be disappointed, they're afraid people will see them. They want to be seen, but they're afraid people will see them,
Hmm.
and reject them. That you have such a hard boundary that whatever you're emoting or putting out, which includes anxiety, hits your boundary and comes back at you, and so it comes back amplified. And if
Yes.
you're literally in a bubble and it hits the side of the bubble, that the ripples coming off of that go in every direction. They don't come straight back.
Right.
So then that hits the other side of your bubble and comes back at you, and those hit like you just become this mess of whirling vibrations happening around you that are coming from you, but because they're coming at you,
You think it's
you
somebody
think
else.
it's someone else.
Yes.
So I think it can be very complex and complicated when we look at what it looks like. And for me, again, let's not look at the symptom. Let's look at the why. Why do I feel like I have to say I'm an empath? Why? Because it it's not for anyone else.
Mm-mm.
It's not to
No.
it's not to warn the people around you
Right.
that whatever you're feeling, I'm going to feel. Because guess what? We probably should. We probably actually should feel what other people are feeling. We would be in a fuck lot less of a mess
Right.
than we are now,
Right.
societally. And so, yeah. Anyway, yes,
Yes.
you. Oh,
Well, and then
sorry.
the train left the station.
Oh, damn. I know what that feels like.
Um, oh, people using it to put down, shame,
Yeah.
or belittle other people.
Yes.
Like I have resting bitch face. So I get told constantly, oh, you should smile more, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Or people automatically assume
Mhm.
that I'm an evil, angry bitch. Sometimes, yeah, you bet your sweet ass I am. 90% of the time these days. Now, in my younger years, that would have been 100% of the time.
Huh.
But these days,
As we've
I'm quite
aged.
tame and mellow,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
But I don't like, oh my gosh, like your energy is just so negative.
Yep.
No, it ain't. My face looks like I'm mad, but my energy isn't. You know what I mean? Or,
Yep.
well, because I'm an empath, I can tell, like, you got so much going on. I just can't even deal with you right now. And it's to push people away
Yep.
or make yourself look like you're more, is it enlightened? I hate that.
I
A
know.
higher vibration, enlightened. I don't like those words. I just don't.
It's a position of power.
Yes.
Because I can
Yes.
dictate to you what you're feeling, even if you don't know.
Yes.
Well, of course you don't know, because I have to tell you.
Right.
Oh, God.
And the ones, that's the
Fuck
kicker though.
off.
The ones that are saying that shit
Yep.
don't have a clue.
No.
They are full of absolute goddamn bullshit.
Yep. Yep.
They are faking it.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Like it is. And it's like, oh, like, well, if you really was, you'd be reading
Yep.
all this and you'd be like, oh, I better
Yep.
shut up because she knows I'm full of shit.
Yeah. Yes. And they avoid people like that, though. They avoid the ones who can tell that they're full of shit, right?
Or they call you out for
before.
making you feel, or, oh my gosh, you just made me feel I am a goddess and I know how special I am.
Yep.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That happened. Oh God.
So it's just all that. Like
Triggered.
I don't anyway. That word and the metaphorical pedestal that people think it puts them on needs to go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The one thing that I was just thinking about when it came to the empath thing too is too many trains leaving the station today without me on them. It's I feel a bit too like almost, well, let's go here for just a second. If saying, okay, let me start here. If I'm in a reading and I sit down with somebody initially and they're nervous, they're holding their breath, I'm trying to connect, I will stop them and I'll say, let's take a few deep breaths together. Breathe into your belly, make your exhale longer than your inhale, and we can get through that. And then I ask, is it okay if I read for you? And they look at me puzzled and they say yes. Like, yeah, I'm here. Of course I want you to read for me. I'm like, yeah, I just like to have the consensual. Like the yes actually is a very good connector. So I wonder if someone saying I'm an empath, because we then think about them feeling our feelings, it opens the door. So I can't feel you and I don't know what's going on with you. So I'm going to say, well, I'm an empath. And you're like, immediately you think about them feeling your feelings, which if your thought leads your energy, they will, and it opens the door.
Yeah. I
had never thought about that until just now when it comes to why are people asking or why are people volunteering the information? Oh, it's because they're not picking anything up, or they'll make up something which will then make you emote or have a feeling inside, which then connects them to your feelings because that's how they want you to feel something around them, or what is this connection to having to feel an emotion? Is it because we are so disconnected from our bodies? So again, we're digging deeper to try and find the problem, not just the symptoms, right?
Right.
Is it because we don't have people around us who we feel comfortable with, or people that we've surrounded ourselves at home maybe who don't emote? They don't show us emotion. So now I'm kind of digging and trying to create these ideas where people will, or these pathways and it is manipulative, whether or not it comes from a survivor perspective or not. Once we're out of it, we can learn to change our behavior
Right.
if we know it's being manipulated, right? So, but this idea of I want people to feel around me. I want to feel, but I'm so disconnected from my body because over the years I've been told, especially if you're a woman, don't be emotional. Um, we've been told not to listen to our body as far as cravings, even diet, sex, anything. And don't have a temperature thing because people will shame you no matter what. Oh my God, it's so hot in here. You're hot? Oh, I'm cold. I'm like, bitch, you weren't even thinking cold that you were cold until I said it was too hot. You're just saying it to be contrary.
Yes.
Now, if Tate listens to this, he'll be like, you do that to me all the time. I'd be like, no, you're the one that's wrong. And I'm an empath, so I can tell. So
that's another thing when they come at you,
yeah,
like during a reading or something. No, you don't know what you're feeling. I know what you're feeling because I'm an empath.
Yep.
There was a Hispanic lady that read my cards one time, and she took a look at my bitch face and assumed, and she says, "Oh my gosh, you have such a dark entity surrounding you. It is so dark and destructive. And that's why you're angry and sad all the time. I can clear this energy away from you for $450."
Yeah, yes. That's my favorite too.
No. Things, maybe there was some anger and whatever, but early childhood trauma, that stuff lingers, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And as far as like, I don't know, everybody just wants to feel special and everybody wants to feel like they have their own thing. So like a lot of praise and hero worship is given to readers, especially psychic mediums.
Yep.
People will do almost any and everything to be friends with. And so people want to feel like they have that.
Yep.
But here's the kicker. We all do.
Yeah.
We all have intuition coming in.
Yes.
We all are empathetic. We can all feel emotions and energy and whatever. How many times has the average Joe, let's just say you're atheist, you're all about science and logic, blah, blah, blah. But you walk into a room and you're like, oh, you could cut the tension in here with a knife.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
Nope.
You haven't even seen a person there behind, and you're like, oh, cut the tension. So there is something. We can all do that. So instead of people looking to put themselves, and they want the attention, they want the connection, which I get. 100% I get. I understand. But we're all that. We're all that. Like, it doesn't make anybody above. And I think people use these things to put themselves as I'm special.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
Please see me as special.
Yes, we all are.
Yep.
We all are.
Yep.
But why you need people to reinforce that belief for you, that's what you need to look at. Like you were saying before, you know, like, why do you want to feel special? Why do you want to stand out? Why do you, let's, again, call it like it is instead of using all these new agey spiritual terms to justify or make your, I don't know but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, for as many, for as much as I don't like boxes and labels, there are a ton of boxes and labels, and that's how we communicate. And so, sometimes I feel like the more boxes we can check, the more special we think we're going to be.
Right.
But really, if I'm using the term psychic medium, if I'm using the term medium, if I'm using the term psychic, if I'm using the term empath, if I'm using, the term psychopomp, I'm doing it to convey a meaning so that you understand what I'm talking about, which is why I love to look at the dictionary definitions of things. But I think it's like in high school, it was kind of unwritten, unspoken, slightly spoken, whispered about um, challenge to see who could have the most page numbers next to their name in the back of the yearbook.
Mm.
And whoever had the most numbers and the most lines, because that meant you were involved in the most, and you were like, for whatever reason, among a group of us, it was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel a bit like that. Like,
Yes.
oh, I was in the French club, on the tennis team, and in theater, and in music, and I was in the French club, and blah, like all this on and on and on and on and on. But like, this is also where I come back to people usually when I'm saying, listen, who are you? And the first thing people say to me is they'll give me a label that is their role in connection with somebody else. I'm a mother, I'm married, I'm single, which means no one but still everyone. I'm a teacher, I'm a hairstylist, I'm a healer, all those things. But if you take other people out of the situation, who are you? So that takes a lot of interior work. That takes a lot of going inside and saying, who am I? And not really necessarily putting labels on it.
Right.
But only labeling it when you're trying to explain to somebody else, not because it's a resume.
Right.
And I think that's where some of these terms kind of play into. But yeah, you've got to, if we valued, if we understood, if we embraced, if we embodied the value that we actually hold as a being, we wouldn't we wouldn't need to have a resume that we flaunt out by
Right.
when you speak to people. Oh yes, and I'm an empath, and I'm a healer, and I've this and this, and I've done ayahuasca 150 times, and and I blow hape into people's nostrils, and whatever. Like, you keep just adding things instead of it being like a toolbox of tools that you've collected to help yourself and to work for yourself. But yes, then if you're a healer or whatever, or a parent even, you try and pass these tools on to other people, but eventually you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
So be an empath to your fucking self.
Yeah.
And understand what your emotions are and your feelings before jumping into trying to understand other people. And it's really none of your business to understand other people.
No.
At all.
And it's nobody's, like, what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yeah, it's none of my concern.
No.
I can't be concerned. I was concerned, and so I'm sure you were too, with that for far too many years.
Yes. Yes.
Especially, I feel like growing up here,
Ugh.
where it just feels like I was in a glass house all the time.
Yes. Yes.
So everyone knew. My mom knew what shit we'd gotten into and gotten up to before I even got home. Right? I grew up in a town of 300 people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I guess if you're an empath, be an empath. Hold on. I'm sensing a word coming. Work on your empath masturbation. Don't go having empath sex with other people. Empath masturbate yourself, figure out yourself what you like and what works for you and how all that works. Then you can maybe venture out consensually with other people about feeling into them.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to work on the word though. It is gonna be a t-shirt, I'm sure. Master empathation. I don't know, something. We'll figure it out. If one of you figure it out, please send it to me. You'll get a cut of the sales from the t-shirts that we make but don't sell. Something. Yeah. Oh, closing thoughts, ideas.
Yeah, just instead of when you go to classes or group settings, instead of trying to put all your stuff out there and making it about you, maybe just sit back and go participate in what you went there for.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
And
have to say something.
no,
No one does.
no. And when an instructor tells you, oh, stand up and say your name and say something about yourself, they mean like a sentence, not
Yeah.
a 20-minute
Yep.
resume, as you put it.
Yep.
And we're all empaths. So welcome to the club. It's not just you, it's not just me. There's no pedestal to be on. It's
Yep.
every single living soul on this planet.
Yep.
So we can stop using it as a badge of honor.
Boy
What-
Scout merit badge.
Yeah, all
Girl
of that.
Scout merit badge.
hmm
Yep. I like it. Remember, an empath just means you understand someone else's feelings without feeling them yourself. Empathetic means you feel what the other person feels. So I swear to fucking God, if all of you out there start saying I'm empathetic, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But it will be nice to know that you're listening.
Yeah.
And I guess we should just finish off by saying, you can go fuck yourself. My vibration is
Just fine.
just fine.